Hello everyone. We are on Upper Intermediate Students Book, Unit number 3, page number 28. On page number 28, the name of section that we're going to talk about is Spoken English. And in the Spoken English, we have the topic how to break the news and how to respond to them. That is, giving the news and reacting to them, as you can see in the screen. So we use some particular expressions while we are breaking some news, and also we use some particular expressions when we are responding to those news. The news can either be good or bad news for somebody. So in case of good news, we have particular expressions that we use while breaking them and while we are responding to those good news. So look at some of the sentences, some of the expressions that we use while breaking the news and while responding to them. See them one by one. Now, we have used three different expressions while breaking some good news, and then three expressions to respond each news. Look at number one. I'm really pleased to tell you. I'm really pleased to tell you what? For example, I'm really pleased to tell you that all of us have been promoted to next class, or all of us have got A plus grade. So that's a great news. So how will you respond? Wow, that sounds exciting. In the next news, the expression that has been used is I have got a bit of news. That means I have a news about myself. For example, I have a bit of news that I am going to get admission in the University of Manchester, or I have got an admission in the University of Manchester. So that's a bit of news. So you would say, congratulations, I am glad to hear that. Number three, I have some great news. For example, I have some great news that all of us have been selected in medical college. So how would you respond? How fantastic! These are some of the expressions that we use while breaking good news and while responding to them. What about breaking the bad news? Coming to next slide, look at some of bad news and the responses. So here we have three particular expressions that we use while breaking bad news. Look at number one. I'm afraid to tell you. That means I'm really sorry to tell you what? For example, I'm really sorry to tell you that you have failed the test. So how would you respond? Oh my goodness, that's awful. Number two, I'm sorry to say it. How? I'm sorry to say it, but you didn't get A plus grade, or you didn't get admission in the medical college. So how would you respond? Oh, poor me. Number three, I don't know how to say it. Mean it's really bad news. You don't want to break it, and you say, I don't know how to say it. But, but your car has been stolen or something, or any bad news that you give, you use the expression, I don't know how to say it. And how would you respond? That's really bad. So these are some of the expressions that you use while breaking bad news and while responding to them. These are the responses and these are the expressions that you use while breaking the news. Now, while keeping these expressions in mind from breaking good news and the responses, and then breaking bad news and the responses, while keeping these expressions, you have a task in the next slide that you have to do yourself. That is, do it yourself. It is a story about a man who was fined for keeping tiger in the apartment. This is the whole story. Please go through this story and or tell the story to one of your friends and note how does he respond to this story while using some of these expressions or some of these expressions. You can tell the story in your own words to your friend and see how is your friend responding to your story or your expressions. That is the task that you have to do yourself. So that is the end of this section of spoken English and the expressions that we use in particular area of spoken English. Thank you very much.